Hello, America. Hello, world. Today is July 3rd, 2018. I want to share with you of efforts that I've put forward for justice, and certainly it all relates to my case, Teresa Watson versus East St. Louis School District 189, General Service Employees Local 382, and Kim Haywood, case of employment discrimination and failed to represent. The charges involved were sexual harassment, retaliation, race, religion, and matters related to my hand and foot injuries. I'm still dealing with the aftermath of the case, even though it's over. So if you will inbox me on Facebook and let me know how you would like to help, if you will, then please just look for Teresa Watson and look for a document that says civil rights. There's no photo of me. There's a document that says civil rights. So certainly I asked for help with local 382 before the wrongful termination of my employment. They did not help. They became defendants in this case. I then filed my case with EEOC after the union did not help me. I filed my case with EEOC in 2010, and they filed the charges in June of 2010 against East St. Louis School District 189, General Service Employees Local 382, and Kim Haywood. They decided, the investigator decided to use that personal name. So after I filed with EEOC and they filed the charges, state and federal investigations against East St. Louis School District 189 began. There have been no outcomes that I've seen in the news regarding these investigations. Here it is, 2018. My case was wrongfully dismissed from the appellate court in June of 2018, and still, now it's a total of 7+ long years of illegal surveillance that have been going on towards me. It's various, you can tell that various levels of it, from professional down to the amateurs, um, have harassed me with surveillance and stalking. I put it in a letter to the United States President back in 2011. I shared of it, one of my many letters that I wrote. So there were firings, demotions, retirements that began with the district after I filed my case and after the state and federal investigations began. So once again, at the EEOC level, these things took place. Once my case was in federal court, I invited the public to my April 2013 hearing and also my May 2013 hearing. I put the invitation in the local newspaper. No one came to the courtroom. For prayer partners and supporters, I composed a document after the appellate court wrongfully dismissed my case. I wanted my prayer partners and supporters, those that did little bitty things to bigger things, and I wanted them to know all of the details and to show that they were correct in helping me in the ways that they did. And help was, it was not always a lot. Sometimes it was very little, and it wasn't always frequent. So I need your help today still. Please help me if you can. If you want to help me to have justice and to be treated as a United States citizen and better, to help me to have life more abundantly, the American dream and all, the desires of my heart and all of this. So during the Ferguson unrest, I had a t-shirt made and it shared of my case and it had a picture of Dr. King on it. For the first anniversary of the wrongful termination of my employment, I wrote a letter and I sent it to two title of pastor holders who were on the East St. Louis School District 189 Financial Advisory Panel. They were appointed in 2012 because the local board was ousted. So I did compose a letter asking them to make history and world news and repent, saying that they didn't want the injustice that they supported, that the local board initiated. No one has responded. I've met with very popular local activists, and they made as if they were going to help, but it was just mainly stringing me along. During the October 20th, 2015 local board meeting, they were ousted, but still they conducted a meeting, and it was mainly strike related to the East St. Louis School District 189 strike. I spoke at that meeting about my letter that I had taken to the strike lines on October 5th. I imagine it would help end the strike. And also, I let them know that I still wanted compensation that I more than proved is due to me. And I gave the same um, information during the October 26, 2015 meeting that was conducted by the oversight panel. Once again, they were put in place after the local board was ousted in 2012. So I shared that same information. News reporters were there and they recorded me speaking. Outside of the October 20th meeting, as I walked into the building, 99% of the people cheered for me. 1% stood idle. That 1% was the female that I refused to go to lunch with and who requested an unwarranted 10609 unwarranted hearing after she directed threatening behavior towards me, trying to provoke me, and I walked away to call for help. All of that led to the wrongful termination of my employment. So probably it was December 2015. I changed my Facebook photo profile to the document that says civil rights. In the local news, they reported that the U.S. attorney that his resignation date was going to be 12/11/15. They reported this about 2 or 3 weeks in advance. I composed information packets and I gave it to high school class members, members of my high school class, over a weekend of events in 2016. Election day, the last day, um, well, I should say just election day, I sent one of my last letters to the last president. I mailed it on election day asking for help with this matter, with this aftermath now of the case. Father's Day 2016, I mailed, well, for Father's Day, I had mailed cards and I hand delivered some. And there's a message in there asking males to join me in um, helping me to have justice and help with the aftermath of the case. I'm These cards that I make are custom made. So for Christmas, I waited and I sent the Christmas greeting after Christmas, and I tied it in with the American of Transatlantic Slave Trade Descendant History Month. So I made my Christmas and history cards to be in one, meaning there's a message for both. And I wrote to ask for help with, there's a message in there asking for help with my case and the aftermath. A year ago, I went to the St. Clair County Courthouse just looking for help with this aftermath, and I ran right into the 1917 race riot uh, commemoration. There was a program going on outside the courthouse. I was invited to meet with the state's attorney after that event, and I shared of my case and needing help with the aftermath. No responses. Approximately 3 months after I asked one pastor for help with justice and this aftermath, he was on the local news encouraging justice with an upcoming verdict. Approximately 2 years after I began to meet with a popular local activist, he was on the news protesting the verdict that was delivered. So, up until this point, there's no help for me from them. That one activist did make some calls to the title of pastor holders on the East St. Louis School District Financial Advisory Oversight Panel. I was able to sit there and hear him talk, but I wasn't able to hear the responses of the gentleman and was not given the details. So in one other video, I said that I did not hear the conversation. I did not hear the full conversation, only one side of it. On Facebook, I sent friend requests to 26 women from a list of 79 that have made um, accusations against the movie producer. One of those kind ladies responded, and she said that she had been getting a number of friend requests and wanted to know why I wanted to be her friend. And I told her, hey, I told her about my case and that I need help with the aftermath. I have not heard back. I also sent a message to the Me Too movement founder. Haven't heard back yet. Years ago, I sent my briefs to the United States Supreme Court. A case involving sexual harassment had made it that far, and the clerk said, "Good job, Ms. Watson." I had only began to say my name. I wasn't even finished saying Watson, and he screamed, "Good job, Ms. Watson." Well, still, I was cheated out of all my compensation back then. So I've been safe in the area as far as being a Me Too, and I'll say that time is up, and I stand up. I've been blessed to not be a once again a Me Too victim. Blessed to be able to refuse to be. My childhood was safe, comfortable, and fun. Signs of trouble were few, and I hope the Me Too and Time's Up movement will not continue to fade in and out of the news. I hope that they'll stay active and visible. I wrote the United States of Department of Labor a June 7th, 2017 letter. Well, I sent them a letter, and they're in the carbon copy section, and also the Department of Human Services. I've let these departments know about the illegal blacklisting and the surveillance. And the United States Department of Labor wrote back in April, 4 months later mainly, and said, hey, we've read, you know, my letter, which contained several years of illegal blacklisting kind of behavior from employers. And they just basically said, you know, we can't do anything. And they told me to contact EEOC. That won't help me because EEOC, um, I had complaints about them, and I wrote in the letter to the president. And the investigator was reassigned, and so many changes took place with EEOC. Initially, they were very strong and on my side and made me feel so good, but then things changed. I was able, once again, to refuse to be a Me Too movement, a Me Too victim. I was able to refuse to be. I shared my story with an activist who was in town on May 17th, 2018. So I was able to um, begin to share my story, but then the host cut me off, even though the activist was very interested in what I was saying. And I knew to be very brief and try to hurry up and get it out there. But being that I was saying that, I stood up against sexual harassment against East St. Louis School District 189 and all that. So I was not allowed to expose what I'd been through. So at the end of the 10-hour night or program or event, I was able to give that activist a letter asking him to view my YouTube videos, and my contact information is on that letter. So Dr. Cornell West, United States of America, world, please help me. Contact me on Facebook if I can help you with something. Please don't hesitate to contact me. If I can help, I will. So I desperately need your help. Let's make a better United States. Let's make a better world. Let's have justice. Let's sing. Let's lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. It's 8:47 in the morning. Just want to try to encourage you to contact me, help me. So those are my words. God bless you. Thank you for your time. Other days I was able to iron my flag and my scarf. Today I wasn't, so that's all part of the aftermath. So I'll listen out for you. I'll watch out for you. Please contact me today. Thank you.